I am absolutely terrified of working 9 to 5 for my entire life. I've always been scared of it. So, my name is Roivo, I'm 17 years old and I'm in my last year of high school. My entire life I've sort of had big dreams, I've had vision, I don't want to work 9 to 5. And I think there's a lot of people like me. This is also reflected on my personality. I'm quite hardworking at school. I try to go to the gym every day. I've been doing sort of side hustles for the years. Nothing has been tremendously successful, but I've been able to make a bit of money on the side. I'm here to claim 2023, to make this year my best year ever. And I hope there's a lot of people who will join me on this journey, and that's why I'm making this video. I have been putting in effort to try and improve myself by reading a bit, going to the gym, eating healthy, but I have not been putting in 100%. This year I'm going to give it my 100% and I'm going to document it, put it out, so hopefully you guys can follow along and get inspired and join me on this journey, because this is truly going to be a life-changing journey. It is currently January 2nd and I've had one day of this new year already yesterday. It was a good start, but it was not the greatest of starts, and that's why I'm recording this video now on the 2nd of January, because I wasn't planning on documenting my journey, but I think that, well, there's two big reasons. I think there's a lot of people who would like to join me on this journey, and I want to keep it real, keep you guys posted. Talk about what it's like, you know, the first days, the first month, talk about the effects, sort of my new goals. And then secondly, by putting this out for everyone to see, I am holding myself accountable, and I think that will motivate me to not look like a loser after quitting for 2 days and having the entire internet see it. I'll firstly go through, I guess, my habits for the year, or my goals, my New Year's resolutions, and by doing so, I firstly got to introduce you to my new best friend. In here, I've got my New Year's resolutions, some of the habits that I want to get. I guess I'll address this first. Journaling is on the top of my list. I want to start writing, journaling every day, you know, writing down my thoughts, my feelings, but also ideas that pop into my head. Talk about habits, if there's new things I want to pick up. There's always so many ideas you get, but I feel like I never am able to capitalize. I think I only act on maybe 1% of my ideas. And it is also scientifically proven that if you write down a wish or an idea, you're far more likely to act on it. So journaling is going to be the first habit, and I recommend you guys also start journaling. So habit number 1 is max 1 hour of actual screen time a day. iPhone can be a bit messy sometimes when displaying your screen times and shows you a lot of extra time whilst it was just Spotify in the background. But I want to limit to myself to 1 hour of actual screen time every day. For Christmas, I got a new phone. For the majority of my life, I have been living with a crappy old iPhone SE. Obviously, as the years progressed, it got worse and worse. So I know what it's like to sort of live semi without a phone. I got a new phone now, and I hope that won't derail me from this path. Number 2 on my habit list, or New Year's resolutions, is quitting all substances except for alcohol. Obviously, I'm a teenager. Being 17 years old in high school, going to parties does make you vulnerable to things like nicotine. I want to quit it this year. I am obviously 2 days clean from it. I recommend everyone, and that's not just nicotine. It's if you're doing drugs, painkillers, weed. Everything messes with your psyche, with your brain, even alcohol. Now, the reason why I have excluded alcohol from that list is because 2023 is all about improving myself, but that also means my mental health. I'm not saying alcohol is a solution, but you need to find balance in your life, and I think that my life would be, especially as a 17-year-old, as a teenager going to parties, I think it would be hard to quit alcohol, very hard, and I think you need balance and you need to have some fun. Now, this doesn't mean blacking out every day. It just means that if I only have one thing I can allow myself, I can have much more focus on how much I'm drinking, clarity, and can drink with moderation. Number 3, I already touched on this, is journal for at least 15 minutes a day. I've got a sort of routine at the evening which I want to implement, where I write for 15 minutes, thoughts of the day, feelings, what I'm grateful for, goals, ideas, stuff like that. Next up is meditating 10 minutes a day. This summer I read a book called Hyperfocus. I strongly recommend all of you to read it. The book talks about your attention span and your ability to focus. There is actually no way to really improve your attention span or your focus other than meditating, and it has so many benefits. I have done it a bit here and there the past few months, and it is incredibly calming, so I want to try and meditate 10 minutes at least every day. This will be part of sort of my wind down schedule, where at every evening, an hour before I go to sleep, I put away my phone and I spend that hour, or maybe half an hour, I haven't decided yet, I spend focusing on myself. Next up on my list is becoming a profitable day trader. Now, I have been day trading for roughly 6 months. I started this summer, and although I am in profit and technically a profitable day trader, it is small profits, and recently I've been losing a lot of trades. I think it's an incredibly useful skill to learn. My goal is to become profitable, like properly profitable, and I added a small side goal of earning 25,000 euros by my graduation, which is in 6 months roughly. So that is another goal of mine. Next up on the list is reading at least one book a month, and then I added in parenthesis aside from school. As I am in my last year of school, I've got a bit of school reading to do, but I want to read a book of my choice outside of that school learning every month. I have just started reading the book Atomic Habits. One of the first concepts you're introduced to is that improving 1% every day will yield you tremendous gains. Over a year's time, I think it was leading to a 37 times improvement. And so that's why I want to focus on a lot of things that may seem fairly insignificant or not have major impact. But if I develop these as habits and do these often, they will have a tremendous impact in the long run. Once I'm done reading Atomic Habits, I've got 2 other books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Think Rich, Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about these books. If you're watching this video, then you're probably interested in entrepreneurship or self-improvement, but I am beyond excited to read those books. Number 7 is go to the gym at least 4 times a week. As I mentioned earlier, I try to go every day. During holidays, I do go every day. I'm sure things will get quite hectic, and I don't want to set unattainable goals. I want to set difficult goals, but not incredibly difficult. And I need to think about my own mental health as well. So I want to go 4 times a week to the gym. Once I graduate, I hope that can become 6 or 7 times. Number 8 and number 9 are 2 more personal goals. I want to get 90% average on my baccalaureate, which is my graduating diploma. Also 90% on a separate math course I'm taking outside of school. Number 11, and this is the final New Year's resolution that I've written down, start tracking my credit and debit. In simple terms, I want to start tracking my expenses and my income. Now that means everything. Whenever I go to a bar, buy a few beers, if I get some lunch, if I spend money on a video game or whatever it may be, I want to start journaling it. And same with my income. I don't really have an income. I get an allowance from my parents, and then I day trade on the side, but I want to track everything. This ties in with a last point, which I haven't written down, and that is I want to start keeping track of myself, my performance, noting down how much I weigh, how much I can lift. Also noting down, for example, my balance of my bank balance, my credits, my debits, my screen time on my phone, how that changes over the years. I want to start tracking a lot of metrics and analyze those and use that data to my advantage. Now that I have concluded with my New Year's resolutions and my goals, I'm sure this list will grow as time goes on, and I will keep you guys updated. I think it's time I start talking a bit about the future and then conclude the video because it is becoming quite long. The reason I want to do this and I'm putting these habits in shape is I want to strengthen my brain, my mind, my conscious. I have not been feeling the strongest mentally, not in a way that I've been feeling bad recently. I just have not been feeling very sharp and I don't have a sense of clarity really. And I decided it's time I start putting in 100%. I used to think I was doing everything I could by, for example, going to the gym when I was 15, 16, or doing side hustles, stuff like that. But the reality is there's so much you can work on, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit scared for this year, but I'm also very excited. A lot of you might also be scared by the amount of things I want to achieve and do, and if you decide to write down your own goals and aspirations, you might get shocked by how big the list is. And I think it's important just to state that just because you start working on yourself does not mean you will live a dull or boring life. I think the habits you put in place now will 10x, if not 100x your life in the future. And as time goes on, your habits, your goals, your mind, it just compounds and you get stronger and better and will have more freedom to do whatever you want in the future. So that's why I decided to sit down in front of the camera. As you can see, the lighting is far from perfect, the microphone is far from perfect, the scripting is far from perfect, simply because I don't want to think and plan anymore. I want to just do things. And I think that's something you should live by as well. Start doing and improve on the way. Hopefully over the weeks, over the months, you will see my room transform into, or my videos transform into more attractive videos, better microphone. Why am I showing you all of this? For those who are still here, I am sure people have clicked away from this video by now, but for those still sticking around, firstly, I appreciate it, but secondly, I think you should thank yourself and listen to what I'm saying. And if you don't want to listen to what I'm saying, listen to somebody else, read it yourself, but start taking action, start taking control of yourself again. Don't waste your time on social media, on bad habits, eating bad habits. And there's so much which can improve upon. It's really daunting at times, but chop it up. The most important thing is you start taking action, and once you're taking action, just go with the flow, gradually improve, set higher targets, set higher ambitions. And yeah, my channel is going to be all about self-improvement, entrepreneurship, and business. I am a very business-minded person, but also I'm much occupied with self-improvement. So if you want to follow me on my journey on Project 2023, see what it is like for a 17-year-old to really commit to a drastic or a big change in their life. When I'm gonna have the biggest set of exams in my life in a few months' time, then I hope you want to subscribe and stay tuned. I won't only ramble on about my life. I hope to do some videos about day trading, maybe about finance generally, about the books I will read, about the books I've read. I wish you all a happy new year, and I hope you listen to some of what I said or listen to other people who talk about self-improvement. And I hope to see you back in the next video.